Ain't that how things go? I ain't even unpacked yet, at least out here in the garage, and already got a repair that's needed. That's all hydraulic fluid out of the front steering gear. I put a seal in this once, I don't know, a couple years ago I think, but I'll have to tear it apart and see what's going on, put another seal in it or something. Alright, got the side panels off, got the all the hydraulic lines removed. That's the oil cooler, got the oil cooler unbolted, taken out. There's 4 bolts holding the gearbox down to the frame, and then you got to take out the 3 bolts holding the pitman arm, steering arm, onto the steering box. If you ever try to take this power steering box off, on the ends of these tie rods is a half moon shaped piece. Let's see if we can put that up there. Yeah, that's good. This piece here, there's 3 bolts in it, and this camera, this round disc here is part of the gearbox, and it fits up through that hole in the frame. So if you ever want to take that off, you got to take them 3 bolts out. And let me tell you, it is absolutely miserable to take them out the first time. So what I did, after I struggled and got them out, you can barely get a wrench on there, even a 12-point wrench, and get enough clicks to make any progress. There's 2 pieces to this back cross member for the back hinge of the front axle. Pull that out. And they're 5/8 bolts, 1 1/8 head. I cut a hole. Shine that up on the top side maybe. You can see the head of the bolt. And there's 3 of them in there. So you have to turn the wheels to get all 3. I cut it in the center the best I could and just torched a hole big enough for the extension to fit up through there. Like I said, there's 2 halves to that plate, so you'll burn through one and have to knock that disc out of the way to burn through the other one. But I don't know how the heck else you would get that on there. I don't know, without dropping the whole front axle out from under it to get to them bolts better. I don't know. I don't see any other way to do it, so I torched a hole in there. Something else I want to note about these 3 bolts here, they got to be tight. I mean, I tightened them up. I don't remember the turn of events, but I remember I tightened them up and went out in the field and started working on it. Noticed some slop in the steering, and I got them as tight as I could. I think that's before I torched a hole in there with a wrench, and they all backed out. They were all loose. So I think after that I torched that hole in there so I could get a socket and a big breaker bar on there to get them tight. So they got to be tight. They got to be really tight in order to take all the stress and beating and banging they're under. Well, I got the gearbox put back in, steering gearbox, and I put a new, there, that's a little better. I put a new bottom seal in that shaft that was leaking. Got everything put back together, fired it up, and it was spewing oil. I see that one there is as loose as a goose. Yep. So I took this that rear axle hanger off. Let's see if we can fix that leak. Alright, took it for a test drive, no leaks. No leaks at all. What I thought about on, put that light there, see this line here, it goes back. It is, oh, that light's too bright. Anyway, it connects right there above the top of the light onto the pump. And that line used to go underneath the radiator. Put that there. It used to come out right here, curl up, and go into this top cap hole on the power steering box. And then out of that hole there, swing back around here, up to this fitting. So they run pressurized oil through the gearbox. I don't know why. I don't know. Probably so the oil got changed. Somebody didn't forget about it, I guess. I'm not sure why they did it. But, you know, when this tractor was built back in the 70s, row crop tractors were a big thing. All different row spacings. They wanted to make it easy to change the width of tires for row spacing. So you had adjustments. Take these two bolts out and all these holes in here, and then to adjust your steering, there's all these notches in here. Unloosen this clamp, adjust your steering accordingly to where you have the front holes adjusted. And I guess the easiest way the engineers thought about doing it was to stick this ginormous gearbox up here with a piston on either side, pushing on a through shaft that spins. And I don't know why they stuck pressurized oil on it. I really don't. I mean, your power steering boxes, like on that truck, runs the same thing. The power steering fluid that helps steers it is the same thing that cools or lubricates the steering gears. Okay, that's fine. Well, I already put a seal in this a couple years ago. That bottom underneath here, where that shaft sticks out, I already put a seal on that once. And before I did that, this top cap, which is a piece of rubber with a bolt in there to squish it down, and then I put these two clamps on there, that blew out of there one day out doing field work, and I lost it. I did, and I wanted to finish field work, so I built that rubber plug and ran it like that for a while, and then it started blowing past the bottom seal. So I put a new seal in it, ran it for a while, it was dripping, and then here these past month or so ago, it really started leaking. So I tore everything apart, of course, to fix it. And this is what I'm trying. Don't know if it's going to work. I don't know. But here's my thought. It's a set of gears that needs oil. I filled it up with oil. I'm going to so you can see real good here. The line went in here and out on this side. So I'm going to plug this one. I'm going to get a vent for that one and down to the just a regular, like a hydraulic tank vent. So it'll be able to vent and run it like that without all the pressurized oil. That's what I'm going to try. Don't know if it's going to work, but I know the other way, the seals, I don't know what was going on with it, why it was blowing past the seals all the time, why it was building so much pressure. Probably something, I'll probably find out later, is probably something with the hydraulic pump. Something wrong with that, which it is acting up some. It's not too bad though. And then when I got all that put together, oh yeah, see there it's, yep, look at there, see that drip? I don't know if you've seen that, but that's already dripping. So things are war in there. It needs, I think the shaft is undersized, it needs bushings and seals. A lot of them parts are obsolete. If this does give me more problems, I'm gonna go a different route. But then I got this all put back together. And, well, now you can't see them. Anyway, there's some pump plugs under there, and one backed off. So you can loosen up these 4 bolts. To take this saddle off, you got to loosen the front 4 bolts, jack the front up just to lower it down. Don't take them out, and this will slide right out of here, and then you can get to those fittings. And with a custom cut 1-inch wrench, you can snug all them plugs up. I have no idea why those backed off. But if this does give me fits, I'll switch it over to the new design, to a newer design in the 90s and that, because nobody, I mean, I've never, hi Dougie, I've never adjusted the width on the tire spacing on this tractor, ever. But that was a pretty big thing back in the day. And now they run a double-ended cylinder like your 4-wheel drives. So that's what I'll do. We'll run it like this for a while. I don't have any leaks, so pretty good shape. Finally got something put back together here.